Hi everyone. Right, okay, so today I'm going to go through my novel writing journey and the process I go through. So it's a bit different from writing short stories, but the actual process is similar in the sense that you still need to look at your plots, your start, your middle, your ending. You still need to think about the whole sort of like suspense element, what it's all about and how you're going to sort of present it. So my writing journey began in 2016. So it was a case of like pulling everything together in my mind and plotting it out onto some kind of on some paper and a story. So I actually started to look at, in fact it was 2015 not 16, because I actually started on my honeymoon started writing, and it was a honeymoon where we went with friends, so it wasn't just us. And one of my friends got really narky with me when I asked him to put this in his hand luggage, which is a really thick book, and it thought it would send him over his limit. But this was the book that I took with me to start writing my story, and you were pleased to know this is not the actual finished book cover. It was just a way of me like writing what I was gonna give it an idea of what my story is going to be about. It was a very good drawing actually. Anyway, so that was the start of my journey. So when I was on holiday, I had the idea, so I sort of wrote everything down. When I got back, I started to think about how I was actually going to write this big, enormous story. So I'd already sort of looked at like the general word count of novels. I was thinking about how I wanted it presented, the size of the book, all the rest of it. So I'd done some research and sort of figured out where I wanted to go. And then I thought the best way I could possibly try and put it into any kind of context is to split the chapters. So work on each chapter. So I'd already got this sort of like outline of the book, by the way, I must say. So I wrote the whole outline of what I wanted to happen in the book, just as an idea. So that was there. Then I decided I was going to split it all into chapters and then write each chapter as a story on its own that led to the next chapter to create the full story. So in each chapter, I sort of looked at how I was going to make that engaging, thoughtful, what the beginning, the middle and the end of each chapter was going to look like. So I worked on that, but I was only going to look at each chapter at around 1,000 words. So it's going to be around a third of the book, this chapter. These chapters were only going to work out to be a third of the entire book. So that's what I did. I started plotting them out, and I actually went to on holiday to Chapel St Leonard's. So we went to a friend's caravan and we stopped there for a week, and we just did loads of cooking and writing and chilling. I was writing, my husband wasn't. He was doing whatever he wanted to do. But yeah, so we did a full week of that, and it was a really sort of like it was a great vibe, because it was like an old caravan with like wooden paneling. It looked quite Victorian. There was even like a round wooden table in the middle with a tablecloth and a mirror at the side. It really did give a supernatural vibe. It was like a bit like a one of these wagons that you got on fairgrounds. It was it really got you in the mood. So anyway, so I plotted it all out and did these 25,000 words like on in a book. So I've got a few of these. So I did it all in a book. And then I got home and I immediately emptied the NaNoWriMo, which is, I believe still going, is a annual sort of motivation to write 50,000 words of a story, of a novel. So I entered that, and so I got my book up to 50,000 words. It wasn't the full book, but it was 50,000 words with each chapter, so it read like a story, but for me it needed more. So I did that, and that was what I call my second edit, because I'd done like my first 20,000 words, then shaped it up to be 50,000 words. So after my 20,000 words, I typed it all up, run it through Grammarly, made it look a little bit better, and then, you know, submitted my my final edit. So after that, I got it again and I went through each chapter and padded each one out to the full word count, and it gave a real flavour of the actual story. By this time, I'd decided my title, so it wasn't like Cursed by the Empress anymore, and I thought about different covers as well at this point, although I hadn't really got one by then. But yeah, so it was called The Empress Returns because I knew this was going to be not just one story. I knew there was going to be at least 5 stories attached to this, and a prequel as well. So there was a lot to work on this adventure. It wasn't just one book, but I needed to really set the scene with it. So that was where I started. So I got to this point already. Now, one thing I didn't mention is some of the resources I used. Now, this was really like old school, and to be fair, I still use a lot of these same processes. So follow me. This is what I use. My can you see it? Is it moving? Yes, my whiteboard. Very old school, but I like it because I like that big. I've got a very complicated brain. I tend to work in thought clouds more than linear stuff. That's why I have to really keep everything in check with these chapters and timelines and things, because if I've got them in place, then I can do anything else I want in between. But I just have to have things to work to. So that's my whiteboard. I've actually done lots of stuff on this previous as well, this whole flip chart paper. So I did lots of crazy stuff. I've been lying on the floor, lying in bed, sat in a coffee shop, sat on a train, anywhere, somebody's house. I've been writing wherever I can. So that was my whole process. But once I sort of got past that 25,000 words, it was time to start using technology. And the thing is with technology, for me, it has to be big. So it has to be big screens. And I struggled with The Empress Returns because I just had a laptop to start with. And then I had to like start using a desktop because I just couldn't do it. It was just like, there was just not enough exploration. I need that extra stimulus around me because my brain can be quite chaotic. So I just needed to see it all more visually. So anyway, once I'd got into it and understood it all, then I completed it and got to that 75,000 word element. Ran it all through Grammarly. I had an editor who did so much but then couldn't complete it in time, so I had to really think about how I was going to adapt it. So I used various other software and got some beta readers and then sort of like put it out there. So that's how I did my first novel. And there's other elements as well, like the whole self-publishing process, which I'm going to be doing different videos about because there is a lot of content in there, a lot you need to know. So this video would go on forever if I just included all those elements. So that's how I did the first, my first novel. Now I'm writing the second. I need to write another book with another silly image on it, but yeah, so I'm doing the second at the moment. So I'm plotting it out in my head. I've already got an outline of plotting another book like this. I need to show you that one because I need to drag it out and see if there's another image on it. But I'd already plotted that out a while ago, but now I'm like sort of in my head thinking about how this is piecing together. So I'm already in that process. So for the second part of the book, I'm thinking of how I'm going to do this different. And I don't think I'll do it too much different, if I'm honest, because in between writing the first book and now I did a degree in creative writing, and it sort of made me realise that actually I was on track with the process of how it worked. It took me just over a year to get the book written and published, and which I think's quite good considering that I'd never done it before, and I did lots of different edits and whatever else. So I'm not going to go too far different with the process because I enjoyed it. And like I say, I've got a very creative mind and it's not that linear, so it has a lot of thought bubbles and different pictures and all sorts of things going off in there. It's like a fairground. So I don't want to drift too much into something I'm uncomfortable with. So I am going to carry on like writing things down. I'm going to plot out the chapters, and I'm going to do the same thing again. The things I'm going to do different though this time are building the character profiles before I start. So I've already started like the outline like I did before. I've already thought about how the chapters are going to look, but what I haven't done is created the actual characters, because a lot will be coming from the first book, but I need those characters built in a better profile this time, because that book is going to set the scene for the rest of the books. So I need to really get that out there and build this character profile, and the character profile will cover everything from when they were born, personality traits, to all sorts of things like where they work, who the relationships are, and how they sort of, what their social awkwardness might look like or not look like, that sort of thing. And then once that's built up, so that's going to be a little bit different, I'm going to really firm that up in the first place. I'm going to use Grammarly a lot more during the process, not just after, because what I did find with, and I did have like a bit of an issue with the editing at the end, because I had to really rush the editing, so it has been re-edited since. But what I'm going to do this time is make sure Grammarly is involved early on, because I'm dyslexic as well, so I do need to have that extra eye on me going through the process, because I can get, it's not even words, it's sentences the wrong way around sometimes, which is bizarre. But yeah, so I'm going to use that a lot more. And the interesting thing with Grammarly is that now it has a function where it can give you feedback on various elements as well. So it can say how you can make it stronger, and how you can think about interacting more to make the ending more better, or finalised, or suspenseful. It won't give you like what you could put in the story, but it'll give you hints of how you can make it better, which is great. You could go on to ChatGPT and ask for tips of how you can put things in and what you could include. I haven't done that because I want to keep the story raw to what I've come up with, my imaginative stuff. So other writers might do that, and that's up to them, that's fair enough. But for me, I enjoy the process too much to taint it with something else. So that's what I would do different. So this Grammarly, I would include that more from the start, and the character building I would do from the start. I think putting it onto desktop, I'm saying at the moment I'm going to write the 25,000 words, you know, in my books, like in my journals, like I have before. I don't know. I think that's what I'm going to do, because it's what I did last time and I enjoyed the process. But you know, times change, and I might think actually it's you know, I've got a bigger screen now, things are a lot easier, so we'll see. And I don't know if I'll be able to get away to do it, although I have got some time slotted in, so I might create myself a little like garden empire outside where I can, you know, feel like I'm away. I don't know, I'll see how that works. But they're the only things I'm going to really do different this time. I'm still going to use Better Readers, and I'm still going to think about how to incorporate a lot of my own thoughts, emotions and feelings in terms of the actual content, because I do believe very much in emotive writing, and you have to utilise a lot of what you know and how you feel about certain things, like, again, like method acting sort of thing. I'm not suggesting I'm going to do something hideous or you know, do something really out of character. What I'm saying is that we all have these emotions buried deep down, and it's about finding them, thinking about it, and doing research as well, and obviously, you know, trying to understand how people's mind works to really get into the characters. So anyway, that's the whole process. I will be doing other videos on self-publishing, how to create covers for your books, things like how you can get your book ready for print, how to upload on Amazon. I will be looking at different elements of self-publishing as well, but in different videos, because it's just too much for one. And I think that's it. And if there's any questions you've got, or anything you want to know about this journey, about how to write a novel, remember, it's your own journey. You can do it however you like. But if you need some support or help with it, drop me a message and I'll see what I can do. I did start writing a 14-day vlog on different writing techniques. I didn't finish it. Life got a bit in the way and I got sidetracked. I think I got up to about video number 5. I will complete that when I've got the chance, just because I need to get that. I can't just spiel it out. I need to get that right for you, so you've got a full process. But I will get back on that to do that. But anyway, that's me for today. Thanks for listening to me go on for the last 15 minutes or so, and drop me a message if I can help. But I'll speak to you soon with some more content on how you can do your storytelling journey, or how you can I don't know, how you can compare it to your own, and how we can possibly work together. But yes, I'll speak to you soon, and thanks for listening.